Hey, good morning. It's your boy Trader Status Quo coming back at it live, 10:44 a.m., May 11th. Today, you're going to see exactly how much I made on my hood ticker HOOD cash secured put trade that I talked about last week in my first ever YouTube video on my channel. So, we're going to walk through earnings. How exactly did they perform on May 8th, 2024 for Q1 2024 earnings. I'm going to tell you exactly how that impacted the stock price that morning of this past Wednesday, May 8th, and what I did because of that stock price action to help inform my cash secured put trade position. And then exactly now that I move forward from that cash secured put position, what exactly am I doing with Hood today and my future trading strategy for a ticker HOOD? Let's get it. So, again, financial disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor. I do not provide personal investment advice, and I am not a licensed investment advisor. So, that being said, I will not and cannot be held liable for any actions you take as a result of anything that you read, say, or do here today that could impact your investment returns. That being said, so exactly what happened to Hood stock price following earnings? This can be best understood by looking under the hood, all pun intended, to see how exactly they performed this past Wednesday and how that impacted the stock price. So let's jump right into their first quarter earnings. Let me pull that up really quickly. So first of all, I just love their presentations, very visually easy to follow. I'm just going to spend just a 1 or 2 minutes just going over their kind of Q1 2024 business and financial result highlights for this quarter. I'm jumping right in. Look right here. So their funded customers, they've increased it from 23.4 million to about 24 million funded customers. This means that more and more folks are getting in this app. They're trading on it. They've increased by 500,000 since Q4 23. So really showing 2023. So really showing some high growth there. Gold subscribers, again, I mean, I'm a gold subscriber. I'm going to show you actually in a few minutes some of the perks of the gold membership. I personally believe this right here is the gateway to so many cool things that the app is doing. Like my personal favorite, giving you 5% APY on your money. I mean, you just cannot beat that. It's essentially a high yield saving account for you just wanting to invest. How cool is that? They've grown over 500,000 new subscribers since this time last year. And even since last quarter, they've gotten 260,000 new gold subscribers. I mean, you just can't beat that as far as growth and innovation. They're making about $6 per month in perpetuity as long as you're a gold subscriber. So definitely a great revenue driver. This probably for me was the biggest kind of pleasant surprise in a way, right? They've increased their assets under custody to $130 billion. So the big boys are taking notice. TD Ameritrade, Bank of America, all these wealth management entities, they are taking notice because money talks, right? And money's moving into this platform. And so you're seeing here, there's a 65% year over year growth since Q1 2023. And even since just literally 3 months ago, they've increased by what, $27 billion in assets under custody. That's telling you that new money's coming in as well as old money. So for me, that's saying, well, individuals with higher net worth and higher assets are moving their assets from their saving account, their 401k, their IRA, other brokerage accounts, and moving it over to this innovative platform. And for me, when I see assets under custody essentially doubling in a year, that speaks volumes. And then lastly, but not least, net deposits, right? So they've increased the net deposits by 11, actually about 7 billion since last quarter, and that shows about a 30% LTM growth. So certainly something that's really positive moving forward. So as far as the financial results, this is why I'm extremely ecstatic about Robinhood. I love a company that makes money, and you can't tell me a company that makes more and more money every quarter isn't a great investment. What I mean by that is they made this past quarter from January through March, they made $618 million. That is a 40% year over year growth. I mean, you cannot beat that. When a company is making money, you just know they're doing the right things. Their expenses, I mean, they've been marketing a lot, they've been expanding, they've been growing, so that will eat into their kind of cost margins right here. So we're seeing here that they did go up slightly in expenses. However, this is the big picture that I really, really like. Remember last week I said they did 30 million the previous quarter. Q1 2024, they did 157 million in net income. So that captures some of their operating expenses as well. So I mean, this for me is showing positive earnings per share growth. And for me is why it's a great investment. So with that being said, let me show you really quickly why exactly I really, really like Robinhood. So this is their gold membership perks. I'm going to quickly just show you a quick overview of why I personally got into it. And for me, it's the marketing just speaks for itself. You are going to make the most of your money with Robinhood Gold. What do I mean by that? You are basically on your uninvested cash, you're getting a high yield saving account return, probably the highest I've seen across all the high yield saving accounts nationally. They're giving 5% APY on idle cash. So basically, you're earning money while you sleep. And this visual just speaks volumes. Very beautiful. On $10,000 of invested cash owns you pretty much over $500 per year. That's what looks like about 20 times or about 10 times the national average savings account. I previously had Bank of America. Unfortunately, I mean, I wasn't happy getting 5 cents, 10 cents per year on my tens of thousands of dollars that I've earned through my income. So certainly shifted pretty much all of my savings out of Bank of America. Not encouraging you to do the same, but for me, I like to make money on hard-earned money that I've earned while sleeping. So I did that. I personally believe, all these big banks are not in our favor. So that's just me. Again, not telling you what to do with your money, but I personally move most of my money outside of Bank of America and into Robinhood. This is actually pretty cool. I actually just got my credit card, so they're actually offering 3% cash back Robinhood Gold card. You cannot get 3% cash back anywhere unless there's like rotating categories. But this gives you 3% regardless of what category you spend it on. Pretty cool feature. Um, so this is really awesome as well. They're essentially matching you 1% on every single deposit, and there's no cap. So if you deposit $1 million, they're pretty much giving you $10,000 in free money. You cannot beat that. Again, like I mentioned earlier, 3% IRA match on every dollar each year. So they're just encouraging, outside kind of new members into their platform and really just encouraging folks to bring in their money. And honestly, it's working. This is, I think, as a trader, very kind of great addition and icing on the cake. You get $50,000 in instant deposits. So if you see a trade that you want to hop into real quick, you are able to do that by getting into this instant deposit feature. So you can pretty much bring in greater than the $1,000 limit, which I think is a great, great, great feature. Personally, for those kind of in the weeds traders like myself, I personally like the ability to tap into the NASDAQ level 2 data. So you're able to see the depth chart, the order book. So what that really means is, you're actually able to see how much people are buying and selling, what the size of those orders are, what the buying and selling pressures are. Really, really a great tool for those kind of day traders or even those option traders for selling puts or covered calls. And then this is actually something that I actually don't currently utilize in my gold premium membership, but you are allowed to borrow via margin investing. So basically, you get your first 1,000 of margin borrowing for free. Then it's 8% for any further amount. I'm probably going to test the waters out here because there are some positions I want to enter to, but my capital is tied up in many positions. So that being said, this is why I personally like the Robinhood Gold membership, and I highly encourage you, if you are serious about growing your kind of investment account, I highly encourage you to tap into this Gold Premium membership. It is highly worth it, and I highly, highly recommend it. So with that being said, what happened to the stock price? So the stock price that morning, and let me just go back to the Robinhood chart. So the stock price, if I go back to the 1 week here, so the day of so earnings, just for folks to realize, earnings was actually after hours. So generally, earnings are either pre-market, the day of the trading, or post-market, so around 4:30 or 5 o'clock post-market. So as you see here, it was pretty much flat throughout the day. And again, I knew going into earnings, they were going to be on all metrics, earnings per share, revenue. They were going to beat their consensus. So I was personally excited about the next morning, what would happen that first 30 minutes. And so you see here, if I go the next day, let's see here. So yeah, on May 9th, so Thursday morning from 9:30 to about 10 o'clock, it has actually spiked to about $19. And as a trader, you always want to be kind of actively kind of watching your positions from 9:30 to 10, because in my opinion, that's when it's the most volatile. And my contract value actually plummeted, and it plummeted to about $2 to $3. Remember, I got about $123 per contract, and it plummeted down to $2. And so what I did was I actually bought back those contracts. As a trader, you never want to hold these cash secured puts, because if the value goes down, it can just as quickly go up if the stock continues to go down or starts to go down. So as you see here, I'm going to quickly show you really quick. So again, on May 9th, it looks like I bought back to close those three contracts at 0.02. Remember, it's 100 shares per contract. So it cost me $6 to close the position that I paid, or that I received hundreds of dollars for it. And I closed that on at 9:33 a.m. on May 9th. So this past Thursday. Remember, you always want to at least be kind of aware of your kind of trade and movements in that positions, as it's pretty volatile the first 30 minutes. So highly recommend for those that are selling cash secured puts or selling covered calls, you're really kind of looking at your positions just for the first 30 minutes, just to make sure there's no drastic movements that where you can take advantage of volatility or premiums. And I also I bought to close actually another cash secured put that I sold a couple weeks ago, and I pretty much just paid $3. And pretty much right now, I'm going to show you exactly how much I made. So I know that's what you all been waiting for on today's video. So again, if you want to understand what a cash secured put is, why I entered into Robinhood, please look at the link in the description below to get an overview of my first video. But pretty much here, I had two cash secured puts at a strike price of $16.50 and $17 flat, expired yesterday. Again, I chose the expiration date because I knew earnings was on May 8th. So you generally want to kind of sell, in my opinion, you want to be the seller of cash secured puts or covered calls, depending on which direction you think the stock will go around earnings. And the reason you want to be really be the seller of these contracts or write these contracts around earnings is because during earnings, something interesting happens. During earnings, what we call IV percentage. So IV stands for implied volatility. That actually means that the implied volatility percentage generally spikes up around earnings. And so the value of these contracts are more expensive. So if you're selling expensive contracts, you're probably more likely to really win that trade, right? So pretty much, I remember I had three contracts of the $16.50 strike. I had one contract at $17 strike. The premium paid per contract, I got $117 on my $16.50 strike. Again, I have three contracts, so the total premium paid there was $350. So I received $351 in premium, which I love to receive premiums. I also had a cash secured put where I had one contract, and I received about $125 in premium. And again, I just said I closed the contracts when it shot up, because when a stock shoots up, again, I know, remember in my previous video, I said, you generally want to enter into a cash secured put if you know the stock is going to go flat or or go up. It's pretty much an overall bullish strategy. So I knew it was going to go up around earnings, and that's exactly what happened that morning of May 9th. So the value of the contract went from $117 to $2 per contract, right? So my net profit on my $16.50 strike expiring May 10th was $345, and my net profit on my one contract on my $17 strike is $122 for a grand total for this one trade of $467. So how much did I make? So like I said last week, I pretty much got a 7% return in 3 weeks, right? And the reason of 7% is pretty much my net kind of profit here divided by how much collateral I put up. And I pretty much made it in 3 weeks, right? Because I bought it mid-April. I closed it exactly 3 weeks later. And so annualized, that's actually over 100% returns. And realistically, I'm not going to win all my trades. So conservatively, that's probably realistically adjusting for my wins and my losses, probably looking at about 70 to 90% return on investment year over year, which I mean that seems pretty good to me. So hopefully that makes you kind of happy. So with that said, what am I doing since the Robinhood pullback? So there has been some pullback on the stock price, but I've been adding more shares under $16.50. I had pretty much almost double my position the last two trading days since, again, I know the long-term investment and what I am putting my money into. There was some, I guess, fear in the market because the SEC provided a Wells notice to Robinhood on one of their securities and cryptocurrency. However, JP Morgan put out a report that will not affect or should not affect at least the probability of launching kind of new cryptocurrency ETFs on the platform, since cryptocurrency is one of the main drivers in revenue in Robinhood. So that being said, I'm actually also going to start selling covered calls when the stock kind of rebounds past $18. And right now, you're probably wondering what the hell is a covered call. If you are, put a comment in below if you want to see in my next video, kind of give an overview on what a covered call is and what that means as far as generating passive income. Because as you guys know by now, my motto is helping all investors optimize their returns and generate passive income in their sleep and actively as well. So that being said, if you like the content today, please like, share, and subscribe, and comment below. Give me your thoughts. Love to hear what you guys think about my video. And that's a wrap. Peace.